At council meeting on Monday, October 23rd, 2017. All members of council are present. Mayor Van Bynen is presiding.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have had the open forum. There are no public notices. There are no additions or corrections to the agenda. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Being none, then we'll go forward with presentations and recognitions, of which there are none, and deputations, of which there has been no requests. First item then from the agenda is the approval of minutes, and it's the council minutes of October the 2nd. Could I have a motion with respect to those minutes? Thank you, Councillor Hempen, seconded by Councillor Vague. Any corrections? Being none, all those in favor? Any opposed? And that is carried. Oh. There we go. That's carried. Thank you. Reports by regional representatives. Regional Councillor.
Great, thank you very much. Yeah, just a few things I want to highlight for everybody here and any of those viewing. A couple of things just to sort of put on people's radars that will be coming our way at some point in the near future. One of them is that, and I think I've spoken about this here before a year or two ago, but the what's referred to as the Retail Business Holidays Act, which is a piece of provincial legislation that allows for openings of stores for certain reasons on major holidays. I won't get into too much of it. It's a long story. The legislation was created and had many exemptions in it. Obviously, the ones that everybody knows is drugstores, but there was flower stops and et cetera. The municipalities were allowed to exempt anything that was considered, if they wanted, considered a tourist destination. So many started exempting for those reasons. And then a major shopping center appealed a decision of another jurisdiction to the OMB and won that, and malls started opening. And the bottom line is it's a patchwork of exemptions and exceptions, creating a bit of an uneven playing field. But at the end of the day, there's a motion probably coming to regional council from one of the member municipalities recommending that everybody go to a common standard. All municipalities essentially allow the openings. There might be some debate over which days those are. I think the proposal that was put forward by Councillor Heath from Markham is saying except for, that everything would be open except for Easter and Christmas. But I think there'll be potentially some debate about that and how if that's the right approach or not. But just thought I'd let everybody know that's coming, because it will probably, if I'm correct on the process, it will probably require a decision at this council as well in terms of the new market implications. The other couple things I wanted to bring to people's attention is a lot of discussion in the news about the Amazon, the potential Amazon second headquarters, or whatever you want to call it, 50,000 jobs. And that's being sought after by numerous Canadian cities, U.S. cities, even I believe a couple of Mexican cities. And but I just wanted to make sure that people were clear that York Region is part of a GTA-wide bid, so we're part of sort of a consortium of municipalities that's putting in a bid, and two of the potential locations in the GTA bid are a York Region out of 10. I think 2 out of the 10 are in York Region. So that is engaging the region to a degree as well. The last one I want to touch on, which I think is in some ways a very important one, but one that's easily missed, is that the province has received a minister's expert panel, had a minister's expert panel on public health, and they put out a paper on changing the way we deal with public health. Public health is currently embedded in York Region. Dr. Kurji is our medical officer of health, and it's a division within Community Health Services, a committee I chair at the region. The expert panel is calling for it to be basically removed from their current structures and placed in almost a parallel and similar structure to the LHIN. And this has very significant implications for the region. We're quite concerned about it. There's going to be a lot of outreach to the government on this issue. The biggest concern is that the role of public health is to serve people in our communities so that they don't become patients of our hospitals. And so public health is really preventative by nature, and it's best integrated into a regional structure that deals with housing and homelessness and newborn babies and all the areas where you can actually engage in more preventative measures. So having them coordinated with a lot of our regional community health services enterprise and activities is very, very important to the region. This is a very significant, you're talking probably in excess of 100 employees, maybe more. And it's uncertain what the funding arrangement will be if it changed, but they seem to be going fairly quickly in that direction. And really the region's just asking to have this process slowed down and examined more fully and understood more fully for the implications it would have on community health services, on public health in terms of the immediacy to our, if you think of it just in this term, H1N1. When H1N1 occurred, it was a public health response in York Region, but they drew upon staff across the region in different areas to execute the response, which was an outstanding response. If this is removed and put in a different setting, in a provincial sort of LIN-like setting, that integration of response might not be there. So anyway, we're very concerned about it, and we're asking for a more systematic look at its implications, and we're hoping we're going to be heard in the next month or two, and we'll be meeting with our local MPP as will other members of regional council. Thank you.
Thank you. Reports of committee and staff. First report is the Committee of the Whole of October the 16th. Are there any items in this minutes that anyone wishes to deal with separately? Councillor Bezant.
Item 10, please.
The tree protection bylaw. Okay, thank you. Any other items? Okay, could I have a motion then to adopt all items with the exception of item number 10 from the Committee of the Whole minutes of October the 16th? Councillor Broom, Councillor Kerwin, all those in favor? Any opposed? That is carried. How we got? Good. Item number 10. This is the tree protection bylaw. And we have the recommendations on page 22 and 23. Can I have a motion with respect to the bylaw? Okay, Councillor Bezans to put the item on the table. Councillor Twinney as the seconder. Councillor Bezans as the mover.
Thank you very much. This item deals with the proposed bylaw to address protection of trees on municipal property, so trees on boulevards and so forth. And at the Committee of the Whole, we had quite a lengthy discussion about a number of elements of the proposed bylaw. The one that is included in the minutes refers to the waiving of the $400 application fee on a trial basis. However, I recall that we had a lot of discussion as well around issues related to criteria for a decision whether or not a permit would be issued by the director to remove a tree. And in that was a discussion around whether we should also be including provision for trees that on the surface may be an aesthetic reason for removal of the tree, but could have good and valid reasons that, you know, the tree is healthy, but perhaps if it could be removed, but with the proviso that there's a requirement that the tree be replaced and that the resident would pay the necessary fines or fees and permits for removal of that tree. So I just wanted to ensure that we're not approving the bylaw today, but I just want to make sure that the context of the discussion we had, including the request that staff look at wording within the proposed bylaw and come back with some other amendments other than the $400 fee waiver be included.
Okay. Mr. Nohammer.
Yes, thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Bezans, that is exactly the process that staff are following. The intent is to amend the bylaw and bring it forward to an upcoming council meeting. I believe it's the next council meeting. And that will include matters, as you mentioned, beyond the 1-year waiver of the $400 application fee, but other matters that were discussed at Committee of the Whole. So that is being addressed, and the bylaw as amended will be brought forward to council, the very next council meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Regional Councillor?
Thanks. Just to clarify, and I think because it'll be coming back and to keep the process moving, but if Councillor Bazans has a different recollection, but wasn't essentially the amendment the removal of E and F? That was the amendment, right? Just to remove E and F on 8.0?
And they were?
And that's,
You might have it right
so
in front
that's
of you.
that's the section that says about permit refusal.
Yes.
And E and F were saying the removal of the tree is to establish a protected vista or view, or the removal of the tree is for cosmetic or aesthetic purposes. And I think the intention was to just take those two out, not meaning that it was automatic, but that meaning like a consideration of a driveway or et cetera. It would be, for staff to consider the merits of it through the application process. That,
I think that's what was the direction that was left with staff regarding those two items around the cosmetic items. But Mr. Nohammer?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, again, that is correct. Those two items, as Deputy Mayor has indicated, E and F on section 8.1 are being removed, and that is to put it in the same context as the other areas where a tree removal would be considered, for instance, for a building or a driveway preference. So that will be the intent in terms of bringing that bylaw forward. There were a couple of other editorial changes with respect to wording, but they are minor.
I think the good benefit of having our Committee of the Whole meetings streamed and recorded is that they become a good reference point that we can go back to. Okay, so I have a mover and a seconder. Councillor Twinney speaking to that as the seconder.
Oh, thank you. No, I think everything was covered. I think that was, we had quite a lengthy discussion at Committee of the Whole, and I had brought it forward to ask for the $400 application fee to be removed, because there are a certain number of fees that were in place as well on top of that to replace the tree, et cetera. And for the number of applications that we receive, I thought it was a good compromise. We're doing it for a 1-year trial basis. So in a year from now, we'll have staff report back at how many applications we've had and the extent of it. And so it'll be good to get that information back from a year from now, and look forward to the bylaw coming forward. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Any further discussion? Being none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. Next item is the closed session Committee of the Whole minutes of October the 16th. Could I have a motion, please, that the Committee of the Whole minutes, closed session minutes of October the 16th be approved? Regional Councillor? Councillor Kerwin? All those in favor? Any opposed? And that is carried. So item 1 of the Committee of the Whole closed session meeting of October the 16th. The closed session involved a Development and Infrastructure Services Planning and Building Services Report number 2017-35, which dealt with the proposed acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality as per Section 2C of the Municipal Act 2001, and the property was in Ward 3. Could I please have a motion that the closed session development report number 2017-35 be received, and that the recommendations in the closed session development and infrastructure services report be adopted as amended? Councillor Bazance, Councillor Quapis. All those in favor? Any opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. Next item is the Appointment Committee minutes of October the 18th. I'm assuming that There is support for the recommendations, failing which I'd be happy to refer these minutes to a closed session. But in the event everybody is satisfied with the recommendations coming forward, I'd appreciate receiving the approval of the minutes. Councillor Kerwin and Councillor Vague. All those in favor? Any opposed? And that is carried. Could I have a motion as well then that the following be approved? That Aaron Firth be appointed to the Accessibility Advisory Committee, and that Daryl Gray be appointed to the Appeal Committee, and that Peter Jablonski be appointed to the Newmarket Property Standards Committee. Councillor Vague. Councillor Bizance. All those in favor? Any opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. Next item is a resolution regarding electric truck pilot project with the Associations of Municipalities of Ontario. The resolution is before you. Could I have a mover and a seconder for that, please? Councillor Quapis. Councillor Broom. Any speaking to it, Councillor Quapis?
Mayor, I wanted to congratulate staff to actually go forward with this resolution and doing a trial. I think it's a fantastic move going forward. This is our future. As a matter of fact, the last time I was in Ottawa at the AMO conference, I had an opportunity to sit in with some of the experts that had looked at electric fleet vehicles, and there was a tremendous benefit, not only to the environment, but there's actual monetary benefit. When you take a look at thousands of moving pieces in a regular vehicle compared to a few hundred or maybe 1,000 or so moving vehicles, the maintenance portion of these vehicles is considerably lower than the regular. So there is a actual ROI or return on investment on the maintenance portion. So I do commend this trial to go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Broom as the seconder.
Nothing to add.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, any further discussion? I'll call the question then. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? None, and that is carried. There are no bylaws presented tonight. Are there any notices of motion? Councillor Broom.
Just really quickly, I'd like to provide a notice of motion regarding an all-way stop request on Salma Valley in my ward, and that they look at some enhanced crossing opportunities in the Terry Fox School and Dr. Margaret Alkinsall area.
Thank you. Are there any other notices of motion? Okay. Any motions? Being none, then we'll go forward to the announcements and community events. We'll start with Councillor Vague. Okay.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of announcements this evening. First, we'd like to invite everyone, all the kids out to the Elman Campbell Museum for a spectacular Halloween party on Saturday, October 28th. And it's from 7 o'clock in the evening till 8:30. The Elman Campbell Museum, or the Newmarket Museum, is at 134 Main Street South, and the cost for this event is $5.50 per child, and it's suitable for kids from age 4 to 10. And please do wear your costumes. Costumes are encouraged. To register for this fun event, please give us a call at 905-953-5314. And the evening will also feature a book signing. We have freelance writer Andrew Hine who will be autographing copies of his new book, Haunted Museums in the Galleries of Ontario. Second, we do have the Ward 1 Community Drop-In coming up on Tuesday, November 7th. And this is a drop-in for Ward 1 residents to come by to share their ideas and any concerns that they may have, so we can work together to make Ward 1 just a fabulous place to live along with our town. The drop-in is at the Magna Center from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the evening, so please do come by and say hello, and I'd be looking forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Kerwin. There we've got, nope. If you press the button, David, then we'll move you up into we'll activate your mic. Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I have several announcements. The Royal Canadian Legion Branch 426 and the Newmarket Veterans Association invite members of the public to attend a Remembrance Day Parade on Saturday, November the 11th. The parade leaves Doug Duncan Drive at 10:30 a.m. and proceeds to the cenotaph at the corner of Darcy Street and Church Street, where a service will take place. And as long as I can remember, this is a combined one of the Royal Branch Legion 426 and the veterans. I believe this is the first time that's occurred in the times that I've been participating, and I think that's quite remarkable. And I believe the town will participate at that time too, because normally we always observe a minute of silence at the cenotaph, or up at the cemetery on that particular day. So I guess it's an amalgamation of all three parties. I think that's just marvelous, and I hope to see just a huge turnout. Also, Mr. Mayor, this Friday, if people wish to purchase tickets, and this is behalf of Aaron Cerenzia, who's done a marvelous job as the chair of the World War I committee. There's a Great War Patriotic fundraising dinner taking place this October the 27th at 6:30. That's the cocktail hour at the Old Town Hall, and the tickets are $50, and if need be, you can phone Darlene Murray at 905-953-5323 to order your tickets, and I must say they're about 90% sold out. So if you want a ticket, make sure you phone early, because they will be sold out by Friday, okay? The other item is I am having a ward meeting, 2 ward meetings. One this Saturday, the 28th, from 9:30 to 12 noon on the lower floor of the library, and then again the following Saturday at November the 4th from 9:30 to 12, lower floor, the library, both days, both Saturdays. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No further business.
Thank you. Councillor Twinney.
Thank you. The town of Newmarket is holding a public information center on Wednesday, November the 1st from 6 till 8 p.m. at the municipal offices here at 395 Mulock Drive in the Cane Room. The purpose of this is to give residents an opportunity to provide feedback on the proposed changes to the tree policy. This policy addresses the preservation, protection, replacement, and enhancement of significant trees on lands during development approval process, and sets out general policies for the preservation and enhancement of trees throughout Newmarket. Information will be on display, and town staff will be present to answer any questions. And any additional information can be found online at newmarket.ca/tree policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Regional Councillor.
Thanks very much. Also, just want to remind everybody that, hang on, there we go. Just wanted to remind everybody that the Legion, the Newmarket Legion will also start its poppy campaign shortly, and we'll be selling poppies throughout the community. And if you're able to and you can, purchase a poppy and support the Poppy Fund, and just help the community remember those who have sacrificed so much for our rights in our society. And so you'll see those for sale around, and if you're able to grab one, that would be much appreciated by the Legion. Also, I just wanted to mention that the Newmarket Celebrates the Arts Gala is on Friday, November the 10th, the evening of Friday, November the 10th, and it's going to be at the Newmarket Theatre this year at 505 Pickering Crescent. This gala it's a very, very fun evening. There's food and music and entertainment, and it supports the arts and cultures community in Newmarket. And so it's $50 a ticket, and you come out and have a fantastic evening and help to support arts and culture in Newmarket. So if you are interested in doing that, it's November the 10th in the evening, and you can get tickets at newmarket.ca/theater or call 905-953-5122. That's 905-953-5122. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Hempin.
Thank you. A Committee of the Whole public planning session is scheduled for Monday, November 6th at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. An application has been made for a zoning bylaw amendment for the lands municipally known as 17645 Yonge Street. The net effect of this application is to permit a proposed mixed-use development consisting of 530 residential apartment units and 1,919 square meters of commercial space within a 4-story podium and 3 towers at 17, 19, and 21 stories. For further information, please contact the Planning Department at 905-953-5321 or email planning@newmarket.ca. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Broom. Sorry. Councillor Quapis. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Public Information Center on the sign and noise bylaw is scheduled for Tuesday, October 24th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Right here in the council chambers in the municipal offices. This information session will include a formal presentation outlining the proposed changes to the bylaws. A copy of the drafts can be viewed online at newmarket.ca or in person at our municipal offices. Comments relating to the draft bylaw can be sent out to Leslie Long, the supervisor of bylaws, at llong@newmarket.ca by November 2nd, 2017. For more information, please call the Bylaws Department at 905-895-5193. That's 905-895-5193. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Broom.
Thank you. The weather we've been having, I'm sad to remind residents that on November 1st, winter parking restrictions are in effect. It is strictly prohibited to park a vehicle on any roadway. That interferes with the clearing of snow between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. from November 1st through to April 15th. For more than 3 consecutive hours between the times of 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. or in front of or within 2 feet of a driveway or laneway. For more information, please contact our municipal offices at 905-895-5193 or visit newmarket.ca. I would also like to wish everyone a safe and happy Halloween.
Thank you. Councillor Bazance.
We'd like to invite everyone to come out to the Seniors Meeting Place Trivia Night on Friday, October 27th from 7 to 10 p.m. at 474 Davis Drive. Enjoy a fun night of trivia questions with friends, and pizza will be served. Sign up as a team of 4, or you can register individually to be placed on a team. The cost is $5 for Seniors Meeting Place members or $10 for non-members. For more information, call 905-953-5325.
Thank you. I'd like to extend my congratulations on to Pickering College, which celebrated 175 years of excellence in education. And yes, that's 25 years longer than Canada's been in existence. But it's one of the institutions that has really established itself. And out of that 175 years, only 108 have been in Newmarket. It's almost hard to imagine that I thought we had just recently declared that we had Pickering College year celebrating their 100th anniversary here. I realize now that that's 8 years ago, if you can imagine. Time flies when you're having fun, I think. If anyone has anything that they'd wish to discuss with me, I will be at Mayor in the Square at the Newmarket Farmers Market on Saturday, October the 28th from 10 until noon. And our next council meeting is on Monday, November the 13th at 7 p.m. New business. Okay. There was no requirement for a closed session. Confirmatory bylaw.
So moved.
Councillor Kerwin. Councillor Quapis. All those in favor? None opposed, and that is carried. And motion to adjourn. Councillor Hempel, Councillor Broom. All those in favor? Any opposed? That is carried. I do want to say one thing before we do walk away, is that it was a very long meeting at Committee of the Whole, and the discussion was very robust. I believe it went on for about 5 or 6 hours last week, and I think the product of all of that robust discussion is seen tonight in the efficiency and the way we manage the items that we discussed. So I want to thank you for your contributions that we had last week and the decisions that we arrived at, and hoping that we can continue to go forward on that basis. Thank you.